Hi everyone, Darren Hunter here. Welcome to the Master Your Time Secrets podcast. So excited. I just love time management. We're going to be spending time with each other. We're going to be going through all the things that are going to breathe life into your role as a crazy busy property manager in property management. And I guess the whole foundation of what I'm going to be sharing with you in this podcast series is straight out of my book. So I want you to get your hands on it. Master Your Time Secrets. It is my whole career of passion, learning time management. Everything that I've learned over my 30-year career so far are in these pages. It is a project of passion. I've poured out my very, very best skills in it. So I really want to encourage you to get your hand on that. But let's just move on. I just want to start getting into one of the biggest issues that is in time management. And whenever I say to property managers, hey, what's your biggest issue when it comes to time management? Hands go up, and it always comes down to stopping interruptions. And so I'm going to spend time now, probably in the first few episodes, getting right deep into stopping interruptions. So you're going to be able to function much better as a property manager, really enjoy it a lot more, and have that awesome feeling of being in control. But today, I don't want to just start on how to stop interruptions, but I really want to get deep into why you need to stop interruptions, because right now you're allowing interruptions to occur. They are happening. They are in your control. You can stop them, but you haven't. All righty. And so we've got to get into what's actually going on and what belief system is in place. It's allowed the interruptions to occur, because once we deal with that and have a shift on what we believe, then we can actually effectively start stopping interruptions. All righty. So just getting into really how to stop interruptions and why you need to stop interruptions, we need to go into depth of why you need to have good time management. And so I just like to say that you need to have good time management because you need a life. Because if you start working 24/7, you're going to burn out really, really quickly, and you're going to hate property management. You're going to resent it. You're going to get disillusioned with it. You'll be then looking for another job somewhere else. And it doesn't need to be that way, because as human beings, we're not created, we're not built to just be working all the time. We want to enjoy our lives. And what are those things that we enjoy? What are those things that hit our hot button? What are those things that when we think about real life, what excites us? And that could be, it could be going traveling with the family, or it could be walking down at the beach with the family, or with your dog, or with your life partner, or whatever. It could be out there, whether you've got interest in sport, or out there watching your favorite team, or with friends, going out with friends to a restaurant, or whatever. What is that thing that hits your hot button? What do you love about life outside of work? And that's why you've got to get good at time management. It's for that. Because at the end of the day, work at its core is all about simply paying the bills so you can live your real life. You can enjoy your real life. You can fund your real life. Your work life's purpose is to fund your real life. Let's not get caught up in trying to get real life out of our work. After a few years, you'll realize, well, it's pretty empty. And your clients and your customers, your tenants, well, they're not likely to be at your funeral, but your family will be. So that's where our real wealth is. That's where our real life is focusing on that. And I see it a bit like when it comes to real life and work life, it's a bit like my laptop computer, and I've got a MacBook, love my MacBook, but I know that if I unplug it, yeah, it's going to work for a time. If it's fully charged, it's going to work for a time. It's going to work for a number of hours before the battery the icon there starts going red and starts saying you're at 10%, 9%, 8%, and probably going to collapse at 5% because something has to be left to run the things inside the computer that makes it run. And it's a bit like us, is that our work life is like that laptop on battery. It's going to work for a time. You can try and draw real life out of your work for a time, but you're going to hit the wall. And for a lot of us, it could be a crisis. It could be, getting depressed or something like that, where you actually have this realization, or you lose a loved one, or you have a divorce, or, something like that, where you realize, the work isn't meant to be your real life. Okay. Because once you plug it into that laptop, it's going to recharge up the battery. Well, the mains power is your real life. And so your laptop can only run so much on battery. You can only run so much on work for life. So your real life is what you are all about, and your work life is simply there to fund that. Hopefully my analogy came off, and I go into a lot more clarity and a lot more depth in my book around these things. I want you to get your hands on it. Master Your Time Secrets. Just go to masteryourtimesecrets.com. We've already paid for the book. All you've got to do is pay for shipping. Okay, now, so your job is to enjoy your real life and your work life. So therefore, while we're at work, we focus on work and get it done in the most effective and efficient way. So we're spending as minimal time as we need to on our work life to enjoy our real life. Does that make sense? Because if we're not working as effectively and efficiently that we can during our work day, then that runs the risk of overflowing into our real life by working extra hours just to keep up on stuff because we didn't get it done during the day. All righty. And that's why I'm just so passionate about being effective and efficient in time management, in property management, so we can just go and have as much fun as you like outside of that in your real life. That's what it is. That's what it actually is. It's your real life is funded by your work life, and therefore you need to become effective and efficient in that. Alrighty, moving on. Now, another thing that I go through in my book is that understanding that property management also is utter chaos. It is total chaos. And one of the analogies I like to give, I gave in the book, is, for example, as an analogy, in Australia, we've got a lot of iron ore resources, and particularly up in the northwestern part of Australia, in the Pilbara, in Western Australia. And there's so much iron ore up there, but iron ore in itself is rust. At its basic element, it's rust. And the process to mine it out of the ground and process it and the ore in a steel factory. I actually grew up in Whyalla of South Australia, and it was a steel producing town. And my father worked at BHP, and it was all about producing steel. And the steel process takes ore out of the ground and produces something that's highly useful for mankind. And of course, China is one of our biggest clients here in Australia, and all the skyscrapers and everything else that they build with our steel. But the thing about steel is that once it's in that end product form, it's now wanting to go back and break down back to its original compounds, which is rust. And there's a problem that a process that stops that, which is, for example, if the steel is made into a bridge or a building, that bridge or building now needs to be painted. In fact, our Sydney Harbour Bridge in Sydney, that's requires something like 30,000 litres of paint. And by the time they finish painting the bridge from one end to another, they've got to go back to that other end again because it needs painting. And why do they keep on painting over and over? Is to stop the process of steel going back to its original compound of rust, is original elements of rust. Okay, so using that analogy, property management at its core element, its base element, is total chaos. All righty. So, Darren, how can you say that? Well, very, very simply, that if in your property management business, if you went on holiday or all the team members went on holiday at the same time and no one did anything, no one processed any rents, no one did nothing, no one attended any repairs or anything, and you said to everyone just decided, okay, there's going to be no property management service happening for 4 weeks, what would happen? And you'll say, Darren, it will go to absolute bedlam. There will be total chaos, all righty? Because where no energy is applied, the whole thing is going to collapse into a big smoking ruin. And so, so the whole point of task and time management is putting complete control over the chaos. It's like the paint on the steel structure that stops it going back to chaos. It's about the control that you have, and your time management skills are very much part of that taking control. All righty. And so now when we're moving on and talking about interruptions, you need to have control mechanisms in place to actually stop those interruptions from happening. Now, property management isn't a job where you just have to answer the phone and you just have to attend appointments and that's it. It would be great if it was, but no, there's always a backlog of work tasks, processing applications, getting leases renewed, doing routine, is all a whole heap of tasks. Whatever they are, there's so many different variety of tasks that build up and build up and build up and build up. And we've got to have time to do those things. And so we need to question, when it comes to stopping interruptions, we have to question, why are we allowing interruptions in the first place? Let's just go deep into that, because when the phone rings, you have this need, I've got to pick it up. When someone comes in at front counter, whatever, okay, I've got to deal with that. And so the issue we've got here is our belief around customer service, and that we've got to serve customers, whether the boss says as soon as the phone rings, you've got to pick it up or whatever, but it's our need for customer service and to serve customers exceeds or overrides your need to go, no, I've got to do my work. See, that's the issue, isn't it? It's that, well, we've got to be doing customer service, all right? And it's not customer service. We are neglecting that if we're not taking phone calls and we're not allowing ourselves to be interrupted. And so that's why you've got the stop, start with your tasks, is because you are allowing interruptions. Okay, so for us to move forward, we've got to understand, yes, customer service is very, very important. However, also getting my crap done is also important too. Otherwise, it's not going to get done and it's just going to build up. It's going to cause me anxiety. It's going to cause me problems. It could cause me to work extra hours. We want to avoid that, because eventually that leads to burnout. It is not sustainable. Okay, so we need to get to this point. Yes, we've got to provide good customer service, which means we've got to attend to inquiries. We've got to attend to the phone calls and all of those sort of things that could interrupt us. But also we've got to be not allowing those interruptions so we can get our work done. So what I'm saying here is we've got to have a balance of both. We've got to have time where we set aside, where we are available for all those things, including the interruptions, but there is a time is no. We must not be interrupted. So you need to be looking at what's those 1 or 2 hours in the day where you will not be interrupted, no matter what, no matter what. All righty. Now, you're not going to lose business if someone has to wait an hour or so or whatever. You're not going to lose business. The world isn't going to cave in. All right. Just imagine you're sick, right? And you're sick for half a day or whatever, and you couldn't take calls. Did the world collapse? No, it didn't. So we've got to understand that our need to allow us to be interrupted must now be overridden with the belief that we've got to put time aside where we will not be interrupted. Okay, so look, moving forward in the next podcast episode, I'm going to start going through the different things that you can be doing once we've got this right new belief in place and got support from management, where we will have non-interrupted time. So I just want to spend time probably in the next few podcast episodes really getting deep into this. But of course, my book, Master Your Time Secrets, goes right into this. I want you to get your hands on it. It really is the Bible of time management for property managers. So just go to masteryourtimesecrets.com. We've paid for the book All you've got to do is pay for shipping. And also, if you want to go deeper here and you want me to be working with you and coaching with you, we've got Master Your Time Academy, where over 12 months, we are going to be working through times more done within the same time slots that you've got right now. I'm going to teach you how to be effective and efficient with your time. For more information on that, just go to igtmembership.com. It's all part of our IGT membership, the Master Your Time Academy. But I want you to join me over 12 months where we're going to be rolling this stuff out month by month to make you far more efficient and your team members more efficient, because time management is all about giving you real life. All right, get your life back, take control, all that sort of thing. Okay, now also in time management, you want to be brilliant at it in the way of, for example, maintenance. Now, maintenance for a property manager, repairs, there is a difference, but I won't go into that difference now. But with repairs and property management, it's taking an average property manager anywhere up to 2 hours a day. All righty. Now, you want to get really efficient in that area. That's why I want you to check out Tappy, T-A-P-I. Now, if you're in Australia, go to tappy.com.au, or in New Zealand, tappy.co.nz. Go and get yourself a demo, because the property management softwares, I won't name them, but the main core machine or the software that you use for your property management software doesn't specialize in maintenance side of things to make you far more effective and efficient like Tappy does. Alrighty, that's why I want you to go and check it out. And particularly around the tenant concierge, that's going to be able to take inquiries after hours when tenants have an issue. Alrighty, because I don't want you burning out after hours. Go out there and just and ask for a demo, because when I saw it, I was absolutely blown away and just wished Tappy was around when I was a property manager many years ago. Alrighty, let's wrap up this podcast. But I just wanted to, again, we've got to get good reason why you need or you want to get good at time management. To stop interruptions, you've got to have a rock solid conviction of why you've got to get good. Well, enough for now. We'll see you in the next episode. Take care.